one of the things we want to talk about with pricing, this is tea by the way, because the price of coffee has been going up lately. I thought, you know, I should be switching to tea. In fact, that's not uncommon. If you go back historically, Thomas Jefferson actually sat down and calculated the cost of serving tea versus the cost of serving coffee to his guests, because he had a lot of guests at Monticello and he needed to be able to afford all that. So, pricing strategies. What we need to understand about price is actually an indicator of the market. The price isn't a meaningless number. It actually is a signal to the market. So, well, for instance, let's talk a little bit about price gouging in the medical profession. What is it?
Humongous fungus.
Humongous fungus. Ooh, we do have to operate, don't we? And as a doctor, how much will you get in price there?
$500.
$500. Okay, go ahead. It's your turn. Oh my goodness, Emily, now we have to call in the specialist. Let's see, looks like I'm not the specialist. Looks like Emily is the specialist. Humongous fungus as the specialist, she's going to get herself $1,000. $1,000. So.
Is that a lot of money? Shrek money.
And there it is. Okay.
Oh, she got it.
What we see here is a simple game of operation. Emily, take your $1,000, and I got to get back to lecture with the students. Yes, go on, let's skedaddle. So,
I'm rich, yay!
What we have here may look a little bit like price gouging, because Emily here got herself $1,000 instead of $500. And it turns out by the game, when there's a doctor available, there are two possible people. Laws of supply. There are two people who can work on this. So once the doctor is out of the way, no longer available, then you have a specialist. You're down to only one. So supply is restricted, and that causes the price to rise. It's a very natural phenomenon. It's what we call the law of supply and demand. All right. Not everybody has pain in the butt or humongous fungus or earwax, whatever the things are that Shrek and Donkey had, but the principle is still the same. When the specialist is making that much more compared to the doctor, you realize, hey, maybe I should become a specialist. It's a signal to the market. We need more supply. When prices drop, it's a signal we don't need more supply. Here's Price Chopper, 30% off this, free that, 5 for $10. That's a classic bundling sort of thing. 10 for $10 on Greek yogurt. What are they doing? Well, and it drives me crazy. Why would you buy one get one free? I hate that. That's what boneless pork chops are. Buy one get one free. Why don't you just sell one package at half price instead of making me buy one at the full price and then you're giving me one for free? Well, the answer obviously is the revenue. If you sold one for half price, you'd have only sold one, say $2.50. But if the regular price is $5, then you've sold two of them for $5. It's much better than selling one of them for $2.50. So there's all sorts of strategies that these guys will come up with in the free market. Now, we won't even discuss things like price ceilings or price floors. One perfect example of a price floor is the minimum wage. You can't pay somebody less than the minimum wage. So how does that impact the prices of labor? We can talk more about that when we get to labor. Other examples of bundling include this. I bought this for maybe $1. I only needed one screwdriver. It's a set of screwdrivers, but I would have been willing to pay 15 cents for this one, but they weren't willing to sell me that for 15. They figured get the whole thing, and quite frankly, I'm probably better off buying the whole thing so I have in the event of an emergency. Another perfect example of price of bundling here is this was a package of 3 Bic liners, bright liners, and they're for $1. Well, I only needed one for 33 cents, but I bought all 3 for $1. So there's all sorts of ways they can increase demand for products. Another perfect example when you talk about that. Here's, if I can get this open, it's got all the things you need to hang up pictures. You got nails, you got hooks, you got wire. and they give me about 5 or 6 of each of these things, so that they're all bundled together. It's a nice little package too. That actually is part of the convenience. If they sold me one at a time, I'm probably going to lose them. But in a nice little plastic case here that doesn't open easily, well, that makes it so I won't lose anything. So that's actually kind of nice. Now what we have to talk about is elasticity. That's essentially how elastic something is, how much it stretches, if you want to think of it that way. And there's a lot of math behind that, and that's in your textbook. But quite simply put, what happens to the quantity sold when price changes? Price could either go up or down, and of course there's typically an inverse relationship there. As the price goes down, the quantity should go up, at least in theory. And I'm looking right here at this ad for a $99 camera. I bought one not quite as nice as that for, probably $150 a few years back, maybe $170, yeah. In fact, I bought one 8 years ago, I think it was, for $250. This is a nicer camera, much better. 5 optical zoom, 14 megapixels, and yet the price is down to $99. Well, there's a reason for that. Now with my new Droid, I've got a camera pretty much as good as that camera right there that I've already got built in here. So the reason for needing that, you've got competing goods. This good can do that plus a lot more. I can make a phone call, and on this camera I can't make a phone call. Odd, but I can't. So there's complementary goods, there's competing goods, there's substitute goods. When you look at Price Chopper, you know, they're selling pork and they're selling beef. Those are substitute goods. They're selling chicken, turkey, hamburger. They've got lots of different goods if you like meat. Now, if you don't like meat, you're not going to buy any of those things. Beloved chicken. They got chicken different ways. They got chicken wings, chicken breasts, chicken thighs, chicken nuggets, frozen. You can buy chicken any way you want. And that allows them to segment the chicken market into 6 or 7 different ways. But chicken is always going to compete with beef. It's always going to compete with pork and potentially fish. And it doesn't necessarily compete with salad all that often, but nonetheless, people do eat salad to satisfy their dinner needs, and people do eat chicken. So they are competing goods. And so the elasticity of one product is dependent in part on the availability of other products. Now, sometimes when you're on vacation, you find that you don't know where there are other things available. So you see a very limited market. And from that, you often make very different choices.
This?
We paid €250 for the sodas and €3 for that water. But that's what what size water? 1.5 liters? And this is like half a liter.
Oh yeah.
No, this is a third of a liter. Wow. And water's better for you.
Okay. So.